Yo, it's your boy Logos, and I want to react to this video because I have believed the WNBA has an attitude problem for the past few years now, and it's manifested in many different ways. Whether it be coaches and players trying to guilt trip people to go see these games we really don't care about, whether it be the WNBA and their players so prideful and egotistic or hard-headed that they don't want to lower the rim so there could be more dunking and more action, you know, the type of stuff that gets people into the NBA itself, or whether it be its players like Brittany Gulag Griner saying that she's better than DeMarcus Cousins, and some people saying that certain NBA players can be beaten by WNBA players. Honestly, I'm gonna just be straight with you. If you think a WNBA player can beat an NBA player, you're probably smoking crack, or you're smoking from Brittany Gulag Griner's vape pen that she left behind in Russia. Either way, I think we all know it's nonsense. Because if these women weren't allowed to be in the WNBA and they could only be in the NBA, there would be no women on the roster. It just is what it is. You can say like the very top, maybe have a shot at the bench or G League, but even then I don't believe so. Could they just get dunked on, sped past, or just trot through? Like seriously, it's a joke. But this whole idea that people are, I don't know, should be feeling guilty about not supporting the league, or people should be running out to see these games when the WNBA don't even want to work with the fans to make it more entertaining for us. It's just hilarious to me. So I'm not going to sit here and feel guilted or feel bad about not seeing women's basketball. If I'm going to watch women's basketball, to be honest with you, I'm going to watch college. I'm not watching the WNBA. I don't care about the WNBA. The only time I know when the WNBA season is on is when they're in the finals. And by that time, the finals are just about to end. Like they're literally like in the last game of the season. And then I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know the whole season started. But they showcase that stuff once the NBA season comes on because they know what people care about. Nobody's watching WNBA. They haven't been watched for the past, what, 25 or so years since it's been created. There have been, you know, good players within the WNBA like Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker, Brittany Griner when she was young in her career. But even still, they didn't touch the men. So to expect me to just be so happy to go to a lower quality of sport or competition and get my money and support the same way, it's just not going to happen. But let's get into this video because I'm pretty sure it's going to track all the bullshit that has come out of these players, these coaches, and some fans' mouths over the past few years. So let's get into it.
Dude, look at the WNBA. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century.
What's up, everyone?
Bill Burr is the GOAT. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you feel. Bill Burr is one of the GOATs.
Well, here we are. Another WNBA season is underway, and viewership, well, it's booming. Well, at least that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that after almost 30 hard years, the league is finally making major strides to becoming a respected and accepted league. But is this actually the case? Well, to be blunt,
No. Hell no. No.
because,
We'll talk.
hold up, well, because the league is terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, and it will continue to be terrible until it addresses
Come
three
on, man.
major issues plaguing the league. These issues being a major lack of entertainment value, a lack of any meaningful evolution in the game, and most importantly, a major attitude problem that pushes potential fans away from the league. Before we dive into these reasons, let's quickly put this year's viewership numbers into perspective.
Sure, the WNBA has made some small progress when it comes to a TV audience, but really, it's done nothing in its TV audience numbers when compared to other major sports. If we want to compare the WNBA to the NFL is putting up 17 million viewers a game. The MLB is putting up about 1.4 million.
There's a long one to right field. Forget about it.
And the NBA, 1.6 million.
The World Series, I'm sorry, not the World Series, the Championship Series is going on right now in MLB, and it is at 3-2 in both series. Meanwhile, the WNBA Finals is going on. Well, they literally just ended. And I will put money, I will put millions of dollars if I had it, that at no point ever, I don't give a fuck how close the game was, the WNBA had as many viewers as just one of these MLB playoff games. It's just, nobody gives a shit because it's not as good. That is nothing about because it's women. Well, the reason why the game is not as good is because women are playing instead of the guys, and women are naturally less athletic compared to men. But even still, if you have good players that can still do stuff within the confinements of your game, people will be entertained. Cricket is internationally popular, and they're not doing crazy hits. They're not doing a whole bunch of wild shit like compared to the NFL or anything else like that. But it's still pulling viewers because what it does do, people love, and it is high quality. The players are playing are high quality. You don't see no BS like them just missing easy post layups and stuff like that, like we saw at the start. Like, we don't see none of this stuff when you watch other leagues play. But I'm supposed to just cut off my brain and not see how terrible the quality is because these women have a vagina? No, I'm just not gonna watch. I don't care.
Putting up 17 million viewers a game. The MLB is putting up about 1.4 million.
There's a long one to right field. Forget about it.
And the NBA, 1.6 million.
Oh, look at that pass. Look at the pass. What a pass.
On the other hand, the WNBA this year is putting up 550-ish thousand viewers a game.
What the fuck is that?
Which is the best the league has done in almost 20 years.
Damn.
20 years. Ultimately, the WNBA got loads of free advertising this summer because there is a national news story surrounding one of the league's best players who was locked up in Russia and then used in a prisoner swap for shit. What's that guy's name again?
The death guy.
Oh yeah, the Merchant of Death.
The nigga sell death. The nigga sell death, and we trade him from a shitty ass WNBA player. If I was Victor, I would have been crying, laughing as I'm walking by this silly bitch. Like, cause like, really? First of all, I thought it was funny as hell how she tried to show up with the damn doctor's note from the American doctor in a Russian court, as if they were gonna give a flying fuck about that. But even still, she went there knowing like there's a history of Russia not treating people who are gay or any of those other categories well. And she wanted to go there and bring some type of drug or vape pen and think it's gonna be cool. No, this was all her fault. If you ask me, it was all her fault. When you go to somebody else's foreign country, you need to know about the laws and protect yourself at all times, because especially when you talk so much shit about America, how much you hate America and all this other stuff, they want to cry and beg and get America to help you when you fucked up, and then we trade them for a freaking seller of death and weapons and war to a country that is at war, a country that is at war with a country that we're supplying money with to fight against them. It's a joke. When people say this whole thing is about money laundering, like the Ukraine war and stuff, it's shit like this that made me think so. Because we're just giving numerous amounts of billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight a guy or fight a country that is getting help by this same person probably that we released and traded for nothing. Joe freaking Biden.
Death.
Rarely does the U.S. government want anyone more than it wanted this man. His name is Victor Boot, and he's known as the Merchant of Death.
Seems like a fair trade. Brittany Griner for the Merchant of Death. No wonder people might have been a little more interested in the league this year. And then combine that with one of the more exciting women's March Madness tournaments of recent years, and you got your answer for the viewership numbers. But unless the WNBA is going to use the marketing tactic of getting one of their stars arrested in a country we're fighting a proxy war with every summer, and then also rely on an exciting women's college tournament, they're in for a shock, because those numbers are going to come back down to reality, just like they have in the past. Okay, now that everyone should not be fooled by the numbers, let's go ahead and dive into the main.
Hold on.
I just want to
talk about this.
Just like
I think I know. Okay. The WNBA league high. So this was when it was like at its highest, like 2005, 2008, 2010. Right here, this section right here, I want to say this was around the time of I can't believe I'm forgetting the woman's name, but she was a women's coach at Tennessee, the Tennessee Volunteers, and I believe they had Candace Parker and like a whole bunch of other good players, and they were just dominating back to back to back. And those players was going into the WNBA, and it was causing like some waves because of Candace Parker and a few other names I'm forgetting right now. Candace Parker wasn't the only big name WNBA player that was able to like make her name known outside of people that like the WNBA. But I would say this is more likely because of that reason. Not because of people caring about the WNBA, but because of college basketball. Women's college basketball at this point was really damn good. And I'm sorry I can't remember that woman's name from Tennessee, because she passed I think from cancer or something like 5 or maybe less than 10 years ago. But I would say this is why more to P, not because people gave a fuck about women's basketball in the WNBA. They care about college women's basketball, and they want to see those players going to the WNBA.
The past. Okay, now that everyone should not be fooled by the numbers, let's go ahead and dive into the main issues that are plaguing this league and have been for decades. First, the league just simply isn't entertaining.
Boring.
As fuck.
Which is a pretty important issue. If the league is in the sports entertainment business, keyword entertainment. Look, I know women hoopers got talent, but talent ain't the issue. Because unfortunately, America has been telling the league for almost 3 decades that they don't find it entertaining by not watching the league. Real talk. Real talk. The league is probably about as entertaining as 10th to 11th grade boys basketball. You know,
I would rather
WNBA
watch
players way more talented than high school players.
I'm telling you, I would rather watch high school boys basketball than watch the WNBA. Because even then, you're probably just as likely to see as many dunks as compared to the WNBA. But you'll probably see a little bit more athleticism, especially if you watch like an AAU game. So yeah, especially if it's AAU, I'm going to watch the boys high school basketball compared to the WNBA. Plus, not to mention, you're going to have like a very similar size crowd. Like in terms of like the amount of space being taken up, like at least you're going to have full stands at the high school basketball game. You're going to have the opposing crowds getting into it. It's going to be entertaining. I ain't watching this.
But let's keep it real, man. As soon as dunks, alley-oops, just overall above the rim play enter into the high school game, for many, that's going to be more entertaining than watching the WNBA where they just shoot and do layups.
Exactly what I said.
Which leads us to the next major issue. A major lack of evolution in the game. Sure. The league has changed some minor rules here and there, but everyone knows what the league really needs to change to make it more palatable on a mainstream level, which is lower the goddamn rim.
Exactly.
All right, 9'4". That should be good.
You're missing arguably the most exciting aspect of the male game in the WNBA.
Exactly.
You know, I already got a video on this, so I'm not going to rehash it too much. But lowering the rim to 9.5, you're going to allow basically a third of the league to dunk. Okay? Now you got above the rim play. You got them alley-oops.
Exactly.
Throws it ahead to Smith. Smith, alley-oop to James. Wow.
Blocked up.
Durant exploding.
Women dunking on other women.
That's entertaining. People want to see that. Come on.
Exactly. That's the thing, like, they don't have, like, they do have talent within the WNBA, but it's not enough talent where all the basic shit is, like, entertaining enough because you can see different skill sets going against each other. You have, like, some players are really good, but you have other players that are, like, not good, as we've seen at the start. You can find many other clips of the WNBA just looking absolutely awful to watch. So lowering the run will at least have opportunities like this. You may have a big man or a big woman that's like a center or power forward, may not be that skilled in terms of scoring or getting points, but she could definitely jam it down somebody's face and not get people out of their seats and people wanting to watch. Or she could stuff somebody else trying to block. Even if you're not skilled, you can still showcase yourself in different ways. If you can dunk, it's okay that your jump shot not that good, at least within the WNBA, because you can have other people do that type of stuff for you, or at least run your offense around different people's skill set. If you open up the door to dunking, you open up your whole lead to much more exciting play. Fast breaks, everything. Like, everything that people love about the NBA, you could at least have some of that within your own league.
It's an easy change. It's a change that would immediately radically improve the entertainment value of the league and bring in more fans. However,
hold up, wait a minute.
This suggestion leads us to the biggest issue that is plaguing this league. That issue being players' attitudes. Anytime players receive not just criticism, but honest suggestions, they have a full-on emotional breakdown.
How dare you?
For example, let's take a look at this real basketball fan asking an honest question and then getting told his question is somehow disrespectful and ridiculous.
Do you think that the game will get more watch if the rims were a little bit shorter? So like what females can like, for guys, it's something when you see somebody get dunked on.
I'm very glad you asked this because this is probably one of the most offensive questions you can ask a WNBA player.
I don't want beef.
One of the most offensive questions. That's one of the most offensive questions. He's just asking you nicely. He didn't say like, hey, you know, maybe you could get more than 5 people watching y'all if you could maybe, you know, dunk a little. I know it's hard for you guys to do that, but maybe if you could do that, that could lead you to making more than $30,000 a year. Like, he didn't say in an asshole type of way. He just said, hey, you know, people like seeing dunks. People like seeing people trying to stop dunks. Maybe if you lower the rim, more people could dunk. Then you can get more viewers. Then you can get more ad revenue. Then you can get bigger contracts. Then Brittany Griner have to go to Russia and get locked up in a cage because of her vape pen. Maybe that's the easy solution to your problem. Instead of demanding people to go and watch you when they don't want to watch you. But then you're surprised when your viewership dips. Like, of course, it's going to climb a little bit when something crazy or big happens that's related to your sport, even if it's not directly in your league. Like Brittany Griner getting arrested, or college basketball, college women's basketball, she being exciting. And then have, you know, prospects entering the WNBA where people are excited or interested for a few months. And then they forget, or they remember, honestly, that the type of sport they're watching isn't, you know, the highest level of it. But no, you don't want to fix the problem. You want to demand people to spend money to watch you when they don't want to. That's going to work, clearly.
I want problems, always.
And I'm not trying to read you right now. I'm just trying to get you to understand why it's not logical to ask us to do that. So, we're constantly being compared to men. We have people excelling at a 10-foot rim. And now you want us to lower the rim so we can continually be compared, only to still be criticized because now you have someone like me who has done what she's done.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
You know what's actually disrespectful?
Oh my God.
The league, the WNBA existing
she could
in its...
dunk that. She could. That's an easy dunk in the NBA. And she wants about being compared. This is so funny. She has an issue with being compared, but she has no problem with suckling off the tit of the NBA, which is the only reason why you exist in the first place. You can't hold sense with certain types of people, man.
Because it's a slap in the face to anyone that actually has to give value out in the world to receive a salary.
What the
So
fuck
it's
is
amazing
this?
that you think you're excelling at a 10-foot rim. However, unfortunately for you, nobody knows. Because nobody watches.
Come on, bro.
Nobody goes to the games. And you know, this constant complaint about being compared to men in the NBA and how the WNBA and its players don't want that is rich. It's actually quite hypocritical because when it comes to salary, WNBA players are the first to point and compare themselves with the NBA.
We are not asking to get paid what the men get paid. We're asking to get paid the same percentage of revenue shared.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Got it. So that's a huge misconception.
That's a huge misconception.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, because every video is like, oh, this person gets paid this person gets paid that, right?
So I want to be really clear about that. Like, I don't think I should get paid the same as LeBron.
Right.
But the percentage of revenue, like, for example, we compare it to now to where the NBA is now. Of
course.
Right?
You don't bring revenue. What is there to share? So I know you ain't trying to say you're trying to get a cut at NBA's revenue. Like, no, that's not your money. That would give you enough to have your league in the first place.
This hypocritical attitude that is so detached from a business reality has seemingly infected the minds of almost every WNBA player. And it's one of the key issues that pushes so many potential fans away from the league. In fact, it leaves potential fans disgusted. Let's keep going. You know, for many of us, having the ability to gain wisdom directly from a person who has reached the top, the pinnacle of a business field, a field that we also wish to succeed in, would be a chance of a lifetime. And many of us would jump and salivate at that opportunity. Yet, this is a chance that WNBA players are consistently offered. And how do they respond? With an arrogant attitude. Example one of this, Breanna Stewart and her ridiculous straw man response to T-Mac.
For somebody that don't watch WNBA basketball, to have women dunking on other women would definitely bring more excitement to that game.
We're only playing basketball to dunk? Like, I'm not sure.
No! Oh my
what?
God. Lord
Are you
have
serious?
mercy. The arrogance is so palpable.
You're not only playing basketball to dunk, but the funny thing is, all the stuff that you don't even do at the same level as the men. Like, she just did a nice cut to the basket to get around that defender. What? Who would I rather watch do that cut? LeBron James or Breanna Stewart? We know who. Like, all he's saying is this would help you, and you need all the help you can freaking get. Why not just take it? Like, come on, man. This is ridiculous. You don't want to be on a poster. You don't want to... Listen, man. This is something that they seem to not want to conceptualize either. You don't want to have, like, a teenage girl or a young girl that loves basketball have a poster in her room of you dunking the ball on somebody's freaking face and be inspired by that and want to play basketball. Like, come on, man. This is... Don't be so egotistical and short-sighted. The same way that myself and millions, probably billion other boys had NBA posters on the wall growing up of their favorite players dunking on somebody or going up for a dunk, or just seeing the pictures or posters of iconic players like Kobe, LeBron, MJ, Scottie Pippen, all these different players rising up in the air and pictures being taken of them flying mid dunk and having that on the poster. How cool that looks. You don't want that to be you. Like what are you arguing here? This is something that only makes you look cooler. This is not gonna make you look weak. I don't want to see y'all as weak if y'all lower the rim. You need to lower the rim. You can't jump as high. That is what it is. We're not saying you're inferior beings. You just can't jump as high. Like, the fuck?
And utterly ridiculous, T-Mac, one of the best to ever suit him up in the NBA, was merely saying maybe just some dunks a game would bring...
What you just did is something that you see in the NBA and is cool and fine, but do I want to see a whole game of post-ups and fadeaway shots? No. Come on, man. No, that's not what I want to see the whole game.
More entertainment to the WNBA, which everyone knows is a fact. Then, of course, there's that classic Candace Parker clip where she responds to Shaq saying,
"No." I mean, because listen, y'all are doing the step back, the pull back.
Look, her feelings are hurt. Her feelings are hurt.
A lot of people going up with two hands and back.
Oh, it's coming. Opportunity is a.
So you don't think if we just drop it to 9, 10 and a half?
I guarantee Layla, she's into dance, but my next child will be drop step dunking. I promise.
Candace, you realize?
Come on, wait. So her whole point, I know hopefully she's just trying to be funny, but her whole point is her next child will be drop step dunking. I don't know how old her children is or if that child is even born yet. Either way, you trying to tell me I gotta wait, what, 20, 23 years for your child to get out of college to start looking at some dunks I saw since the 80s, 70s, 60s? No. What's she talking about? Someone please explain what she was trying to say, because I don't get it. Only thing I could see that her feelings are hurt and she like, no, I'm not going to do that. I will not lower myself to make my game more entertaining to the people who I need money for. No. Fuck them.
Lisa Leslie first dunked a ball in a WNBA game 23 years ago.
Listen, I may sound like an asshole because I'm finna just pick apart her celebration, but the whole fact that doing that simple one-handed dunk on the fast break was like a crazy crowning achievement, where she ran with her hands in the air like she just won the damn ring, like she just made a game-winning dunk, like she was LeBron blocking Iguodala in the 2016 NBA Finals to save the game. Like, seriously, over that dunk, a dunk that's been going on for decades and decades beforehand. It tells me all I need to know about the expectations.
That logic, the league should be full of motherfuckers dunking, which it's not. Again, being so arrogant to tell one of the most entertaining basketball players of all time, who made his name as well as hundreds of millions of dollars off of his ability to dominantly dunk on people, that, you know, the WNBA, we actually don't need that. Again, who would possibly support a league that is riddled with such arrogance? Okay, quickly, we need to address that last point Candace snuck in there, because it embodies the final piece of the puzzle in the attitude problem plaguing the WNBA, which is this ideological belief that society has constructed male and female bodies to be different and unequal. But given enough time, women will be able to correct that and have a similar athletic performance as men.
I'm sorry, I had to pause right before she did that, but this part is important because this isn't just a WNBA thought. They teaching this stuff in colleges apparently. Because Ram told me about a conversation he had with somebody he used to talk to, and she said something just as similar to that, that society teaches women to be weaker, and that's why women are physically weaker than men. Even though at the same time, if you do anything remotely where you're showing your dominance physically over a woman, we all know it's wrong. But at the same time, women are equally capable physically as men. It makes absolutely no sense, but these people aren't about making sense. They're about, I don't know, echo chambers. What's it? Brainwashing. That's what it is. Brainwash. They're more about brainwashing and ideology. It's crazy. It's not just the NBA or the WNBA that's talking this nonsense. They're talking about this stuff in colleges too now.
My next child will be drop step dunking, I promise.
Okay, I don't want to dive into too much academic shit because it's
the fuck was
boring, but this belief stems from one of the grandmas of modern day sociology. Her name's Judith Lober. And Judith, well, she argued about 30 years ago in an article titled Biology as Ideology that, you know, if we give it enough time and enough correction, women and men can actually have the same athletic performance, the same athletic outcomes.
You know, instead of listening to me explain why this is a ridiculous theory, let's go ahead and let Dave Chappelle tackle it.
What does it actually mean to be equal? You know what I mean? Like, if women are actually equal to men, then there would be no WNBA, would there?
Exactly.
You would just be good enough to play in the NBA with us.
Big facts.
Although clearly false, this ideological equality attitude is pervasive in the league, and it really needs to stop. Because the vast majority of sports fans can see the truth, which is that if the WNBA was treated as a business rather than a tokenist landmark of female athletics, it wouldn't exist. The league would have been dead and buried years ago, and it would have a tombstone that read, "Here lies an idea that lost shit tons of money." Ultimately, potential fans don't want anything to do with a league that is filled with players that have a disrespectful, hypocritical, and incorrect ideological-based attitude. As long as that exists, so will videos like these criticizing the WNBA. So please, WNBA, I plead to you, make the league more entertaining. Lower the rims and drop the ideological attitude that pushes so many potential fans away from the league.
Dude, look at the WNBA.
Honestly, I completely agree with them. Drop all the bullshit. Focus on what the fans want. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to drive your business. If you want the contracts, the notoriety, the fame, anything else that the NBA has, why don't you try emulating the NBA? Because at this point, I don't know what you're doing. If it was up to me, the WNBA wouldn't exist simply because of the fact it's not bringing in revenue. And like you said at the end, it's nothing just a token. Seriously. If it was really equal to the NBA or treated equally to the men's leagues of every damn sport on the planet, it wouldn't still exist. It probably got shut down decades ago because nobody watches it. It doesn't bring in revenue. And the people that play, for the most part, at least from their attitudes, aren't really inviting. Like, I don't care what you say. I don't care about your attitude. I don't care about your feelings being hurt. Candace or Breonna Stewart or anybody else. You're supposed to make the game exciting for me as a fan. I don't give a fuck about your social justice. I don't give a damn about your ideologies. play ball. Play ball well. That's all you gotta do. And make it exciting. Because, like, what else am I here for? To support a cause, support your social justice movement. I don't give a flying fuck about your social justice movement. I came here to watch a basketball game. A good basketball game. Not some of the BS we've seen throughout this video. Drop the attitude. The whole idea that certain WNBA players can beat the men, that's just hilarious. Brittany Griner saying she could beat the Marcus Cousins. She's smoking crack out that vape pen, if you ask me. Because there's no way in hell that's ever gonna happen. You can't even, like, honestly, DeMarcus Cousins had what? Well, I think at least one ACL injury. He had multiple, and maybe like an Achilles injury too. He had multiple major surgeries over the past 5 years. And that's honestly the biggest reason why he's not in the league. But even still, at this point in his career, he would absolutely embarrass Brittany Griner or any woman in the WNBA. It is what it is. Be good at what you can be good at and stop trying to compare. Because it seems like you're more comparing yourself than anybody else. You know what it is, but you don't want to accept it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Sorry if I had to interrupt a lot. I watch sports a lot. I have a lot to say about this topic. So, whatever. It is what it is. It's your boy Logos. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace.